Hey guys, I want to ask you a question. Do you know what you should be charging in terms of your hourly rate for your interior decorating or design business in the year 2024? Where do you stack up? Where should you sit amongst this sea of different design fees? Hourly rate I'm really focusing on here specifically. What I want to do in this episode is take you through the tiers. Tiers 1, Tiers 2 and Tiers 3. We're going to start from low and go to high and see where you fit in. I'm going to ask you some really important questions. Let's have a chat. Hey guys, it's Adam Scougall and welcome to episode 4 of So You Want to Be an Interior Designer. I'm really pleased to have you here. Now this show is aimed at you mid-career aspiring interior designer or decorators out there, solopreneurs, and you are wanting that support. You need that support to create a thriving interior design or decorating business while you're working 9 to 5. So I'm here to help you make that happen. I want to help you guard your time, make more money, whilst you take on just those projects that you really want to take on as opposed to any old job just because you're desperate for the money. So we've all been there. But thank you for joining me. Today's topic of discussion is really critical to be able to support our businesses and lives in the respect of how much we're charging per hour. Now, today I want to talk to you about the 3 different tiers of how you will charge, where you can find where you can see yourself fitting in. There's Tiers 1, Tiers 2, Tiers 3, and I'm going to tell you or help you to determine where you fit in that kind of structure as we kick off with the show. But first, if you feel like you're flailing a little bit, or you're kind of just out of design school and you're not sure what to do next in terms of where you need to focus your energies, whether it's marketing or how to budget or how to get clients or whatever, take my quiz. I've got a quiz for you. Link below. So you want to be an interior designer.tv/quiz. Take the quiz today. It only takes a couple of minutes. It's just 15 questions. 15 questions. So don't think you're going to be roped into a long quiz that takes forever. After you do it, you'll get a personalized report emailed to you at your email address. And I would love to hear how you go with that. Let me know how you go. You can always have a chat with me if you'd like to follow up after getting your quiz back. I'd love to know how you went with it. But today, what are you going to charge? What design fees should you charge in 2024? So, as I said before, I'm going to kick off. What do we got here? We got a Tier 1, a Tier 2, and Tier 3. So I'm going to start with Tier 1, which is low. So, let's have a look at where you fit here. Have you just come out of design school? Have you come out and you haven't really done your first job, or you've just sort of gotten through your first job and you're into your second or third, or it's the first 6 months, whatever. If you don't have a lot of experience behind what you've been doing so far, which of course you're not going to have, are you? If you've just come out of design or decorating school, then you're going to not have the confidence, you're not going to have the experience, and you're not going to be able to explain that experience, more importantly, to potential clients. I find that in this lower pricing tier, we really are only pricing so that we're making money out of this so that we're not doing everything for free and going broke. But we don't necessarily have the confidence to be able to charge much more than the figures I'm going to give you here. I'm talking about fees from about $80 to $120 per hour. Now, this sort of fee structure, I think anything under $100 is really low. But look, at the end of the day, I remember when I started out, you just have to feel comfortable with that fee, and you need to be able to go into a design consultation, a meeting with a potential new client and say, look, this is my fee structure. I think anyone that's just charging $80 to $120 per hour, I think it would be generally known that would be a pretty low fee per hour for a designer to be charging. So it's okay if you're going for a Tier 1. You're only comfortable charging something about near $100 an hour mark, to say, look, I've come out of design school. I do have a lot of experience with my own decorating, for example, but I have just come out and, I'm looking to work, and, fees generally can be higher for other decorators with more experience, but that's the fee that I'm comfortable charging. So fees of about 80 to 120 are really that tier one. That's low, very low dollars. If you spoke to a lot of different people in the industry, they'd probably say that's too low. But what I want to do is to just give you an idea of where people are charging. I think people coming out of design school, from the people I've spoken to recently, and I've been doing lots of interviews to work out what you guys really want to hear about. I've been speaking to people that are in this category, just coming out of design decorating school, whether it's kitchen bathroom design or coming out of a decorating certificate even. And these are kind of the fees that people are floating around. So, and from just experience in the past, I know that I started out probably started out at about $100 an hour when I first started. But with time, you get a lot of confidence, and you realize how tough but fun, but quite in depth this whole interior design decoration industry is, and the projects can be quite difficult to navigate through. And really, you're not the plumber. You know, we are not the type of person that people call to just release a blockage from a drain, and one guy's going to charge them $80 an hour, the other one's 95, or this one. They're all doing the same thing. There's not a great deal of, nothing against plumbers, but there's, generally not the skill set required to do what we do. What we do is quite in depth. So anyway, to kick off there, tier one low, probably between $80 to $120 per hour. You probably have minimal design experience that you've documented. So you may not even have a website at this stage, or you may just have a holding page, or you may have a website that just has a couple of pictures, styling pictures you've done, or a project in your own home. You don't have testimonials maybe at this stage, so you haven't yet, you will, had the experience of speaking to people that you've done some great work for, taken some photos and had a testimonial where they've let you know, and they're willing to let everybody else know how fabulous you are, and to hire you for the next interior design or decorating job. So look, this is where we start, and that is the range I would say for tier one. Let's go into tier two, which we'll call the mid tier. This sort of category is you, the type of person that has several projects now under their belt, a lot of experience in running projects from A to Z or Z, wherever you are in the world, and you have had the chops to see it through, and you've had a fantastic client experience. So you've had a few of these experiences now. You might have even been working for several years, like I have, and you've got you've got the ability to obviously charge a higher fee for what you've done. So you've got some projects under your belt, photographed. You've had them photographed. You might have even had them published. And I would hope that very soon out of the gate, you are looking to get your work published, whether it's online or in a magazine or anywhere else like that. If you're starting out and you're not getting things photographed, and you're too afraid to go and ask for those photos or testimonials, you really still are in tier one, darling, because you don't have the confidence clearly to go and ask for those things. But by tier two, every job you do should be photographed. You should be getting press, and you should really be styling these things beautifully so you can get the word out there about the fabulous stuff that you're doing to make your clients' lives that much more sweeter. So let's cut to the cackle in terms of the rate. The rate for a mid-range interior designer or decorator, solopreneur this is, I'm not talking about working for someone in an office where your hourly rate will be much lower. These type of fees are for people running their own business. Now, for mid-range tier two here, I've got $150 to $250 an hour. Now, that covers a lot of decorators and designers out there in terms of what they're charging. The 250 mark is, you know what, I'm not even at 250. I'm going to move to 250 in 2024. I'm currently 220, and I've been going for about 13 years. So you can see that I'm, in that mid tier. I'm not charging the high tier rate, which I'll go into in a moment, because I think there's a lot more things that go into, or a lot more things that validate a higher rate than $250 an hour, for example. But to recap, tier two, mid-range, 150 to 250, you are comfortable keeping it solo as well. You're not having to hire out offices and things like that. You probably don't have a lot of staff. If you have anybody that you contract out or have working for you, it's probably a bookkeeper or an accountant. And potentially, you might outsource some CAD drawing like I do. But, my rate is $220 at the moment. Mid-range interior designer with a number of years experience working for themselves generally. And I've had a lot of conversations. I know a lot of decorators and designers, architects even, that are sitting at $200 an hour or $220, $250. So they've been going for years, and they're at about $150 to $250 an hour. Now, when I talk about that, I'm just talking about hourly rate for a project. So if you're on a design job, that's what you'll charge when you're going hourly. Now, I don't just do hourly. The design process I charge based on an hourly rate, but then the implementation of the project I do at a percentage of the cost. I'll talk more about that as we move along in the show. But that is tier 2 for you, gives you an idea. And I am what I consider to be around the tier 2 level when it comes to purely just the hourly fee. Remember too, designers make money, especially when they're working for themselves like you may be and I am. You're making money out of other things as well. So you've got product that you're selling, you're recommending to your clients, and you also have an ability to make some benefit there or get products where you're being charged a wholesale or trade price, which is lower than a retail price. And I choose to benefit from that. And moving forward, I am not going to be spreading the love with a discount as much as I used to do in previous years. Because I don't think people really value it anyway. But there are other ways that you make money on top of the hourly rate, and that's just another way that an interior designer, especially one that is a solopreneur like you or I, will benefit as well as just charging an hourly rate. That's all about tier 2. Let's get to this tier 3 level. So tier 3, what is a tier 3? Several years of design experience. They don't really have to have many more years of design experience than, say, a tier 2, but they are in sort of this place where they have an office now. They've invested in an office. You've got a lot of overheads you need to cover. You may want to have a business that employs staff. So with employing staff, you've got salaries that you need to pay for your junior, your mid-range, your project management side of things. You're paying salaries there, so you need to be able to cover those the incomes that you need to pay for your employees, full-time employees in some circumstances. You may have a fantastic office right in the heart of the city. That's not going to be cheap. You probably have a higher profile, or you're esteemed to have a higher profile where there's a lot of media coverage. You could be a well-known celebrity designer. You could be a designer that is regularly on TV. Of course, you'll want to be in those very high-end publications like Vogue, Living, Architectural Digest, things like that. So your profile is going to be quite high, I would say, generally. If you're a tier 3 high-end interior designer. Now, what can those rates look like? Now, I've done my own research on this. I know people that are charging anywhere from $275 an hour to $500 an hour for that upper echelon designer that generally has a lot more going on than just solopreneur. I like to keep things tight. I like to keep the risk low. Whether there's a poor economy or whatever else is going on in the world, I'm happy to keep it tight. But for you guys out there that are really aspiring to have several staff, a decent looking office, then you'll probably want to be charging enough money to be able to cover a lot of those overheads there. So pricing structure for that, $275 to $500 an hour. I think $500 is right up there. I would be thinking that anything over that would be, celebrity status. Interesting too. This is a different situation than being on a job and having lots of hours that you need to bill for. I think even, people that are celebrity designers, if they're billing their clients lots and lots of hours personally, they probably still are mindful of the fact that the hours are not going to kind of be, $1,000 an hour or $1,500 an hour. Although that I'm sure is, there are people charging that internationally. But generally speaking, I think locally, $275 to $500 an hour for a really established interior designer. probably running their own business, several staff, as I said, offices, probably various publications, design awards, all that sort of thing, quite a high tenure. They are the type of design fees that people are charging out there. It is regular now to look and see people out there charging, over $300 an hour. So, look at that and take inspiration from that however you will. I just personally like to keep it at a rate where I think it's reasonable. And I don't know, I kind of feel like really going huge in terms of hourly rate just doesn't suit the way I feel about what I'm doing. Just in that design phase, I feel that there's a reasonable amount of money that I like to charge, and I think that what I'm charging more or less covers that in terms of my income goals in the situation I'm in and where I'm at with my life. But you have the ability to skyrocket that. You can absolutely go higher. There are no rules. And really, I think the other thing too is remember that whoever is hiring you, the person. So get yourself from the get-go, get yourself those projects. Even if you don't think they're that fabulous, get them beautifully photographed, style them to buggery, for lack of a better expression, and go and take photos and let people know. Try and get published. But believe it or not, you'll probably find that you will get a published room or something or other, even if your little old confidence level is low and you feel like you'll never get any publications. You'd be surprised if you get a great photographer that works with magazines and you can get them to photograph your spaces and you style them beautifully. Even if it's your own home, you'd be amazed at how easy it is to get a design job in sometimes a national publication, believe it or not. But that's getting into another topic. But really, we've got the 3 tiers there. I'm just going to recap. Tier 1, low, $80 to $120 per hour. Don't be sitting around that $80 mark, if ever. I think $100 is the lowest you should go. If you're doing your very first job and you're trying to get some photos and people just have no background on how you'll go with the project, based on the fact that you've got no experience, I'll probably do the first one for free. But moving on, there's no point in doing anything for free because it takes a lot. And you will very quickly learn a lot of skills in this business. Even after your first decorating job, you'll have so much more knowledge that you'll be able to take on and charge for. Tier 2, $150 to $250 an hour. Now, I've been around for 13 years. I'm at $220 an hour. I'll probably go to 2024, I'll go to $250. I'm not really looking to go much higher than that at this stage because there are other ways that you can make money and other ways that I make money, such as on furnishings, furniture, all that sort of thing. So I charge hourly in the design phase, and then I go to percentage of project cost after that, which is not based on an hourly rate at all. It's really a value-based fee. So we'll get into more things like that as we go through. I'm just looking at the time here. We're doing pretty well today. Now, these are fees that are based on you in the crux of working on a design for a project. We have to come up with a fee structure, and the easiest way to do that is to think of what our hourly fee is and then times it by, whatever time it will take us to produce, say, a design. So if someone wants you to do a living room design or a bedroom design or a kitchen design, the easiest way to get cracking is to think, what am I comfortable with as an hourly rate? And then simply times the amount of hours it's going to take you. You can document it on a piece of paper. I've got something called a task by task estimation set of sheets that takes me in my mind through every little bit of every piece of the puzzle that I've got to do in the design phase. Remember, there's lots of administration. I've got to get quotes. I've got to get pricing. And I have to bake all that in. So you can also choose to do an administrative rate if you're looking at bare bones administrative things. So just getting pricing and typing things into a spreadsheet or software. If you're using design software, you may want to charge a lower rate for that. And I also do that as well. I charge an admin rate. So the time that I'm doing really mundane things is not as costly as when I'm actually, putting together a concept and pulling fabrics and, speaking about things that are quite bespoke and working on things like that require a lot more brain power. So there's a lot of ways that you can base your charging on based on the types of things you're doing. You can either lower to an admin rate or keep it at the one rate. Some people just prefer to have a design rate, especially when they're working solo, and just their rate is their rate. If it's 200 or 250 or whatever it is, they're just charging that rate, and whatever they do is at that rate. You have to feel comfortable. There's no rule book to tell you that it has to be this way or has to be that way. You just have to feel comfortable how you're charging. And the main thing is confidence. If you go in and you're confident with your fee, then you will get it over the line. If you're going in and saying, I'm $250 an hour, and you've been around for 10 minutes and you don't really have any projects to kind of show for it, you may sort of find that difficult to get over the line. Client senses it, and they will probably, not even based on your experience, based on how you come across in terms of confidence, they may decide not to go ahead with the project because of the fee, or, who knows. But it really is confidence. So are you confident with the rate? Go back and have a listen. Tier 1, 2, and 3. Where do you sit in terms of experience? I would say is a good guideline. So that's what I want you to do next, is to really, your action steps are take a piece of paper out, have a look at the tiers and go, okay, what am I comfortable charging? Where am I at? Go back and listen to this again and say, what did Adam say about tier 1? What about tier 2, tier 3? You'll probably find yourself comfortably sitting in there. Raise them up or down to suit you, my darling. Do what feels right for you. It's going to be how confident you are when you go and see the client in saying, here is my fee and it's based on this. If you can substantiate everything, it makes it easier to lay out your fee and request payment for the fabulous design that you're going to give to your client. So I'm going to finish off here. If you would like to take my quiz, go in there and take the quiz. So you want to be an interior designer.tv/quiz. It only takes a couple of minutes. It's just 15 questions. So finish it. Don't start it and leave it. Finish it till the end. You'll get a custom report emailed to you. And if you want to have a chat to me about it, my darling, you can just give me an email. info@adamscougall.com, and I'd be happy to have a chat to you. So go ahead and do the quiz if you'd like to. It's fun. I want to finish this, though, with giving you a little bit of bolstering here. I think that you're awesome. And I think that we all need encouragement, and we all need our props. And what I want to say to you is, you are sitting here watching this, or you're listening on the podcast. I've got a YouTube channel. Go over to YouTube, at Adam Scougall TV, or sit and listen on the podcast, or you could be walking and listening to the podcast. But listen to the podcast, watch the YouTube channel. I've got a lovely red hat on today. If you're on the podcast, you want to flick over YouTube. But anyway, I just want to say that believe in yourself. I believe in you. You wouldn't be here looking at this if you weren't seriously talented, and you didn't have this voice inside you, or this sort of urging to get out there and create beautiful homes. Creating beautiful homes is a huge tick in terms of your creative imprint on this fabulous world of ours. Have courage in yourself. Have faith in yourself. And if you're losing faith, send me an email and I'll help you get that faith back, because you are awesome. I want to leave that thought there with you today. And until next time, have a wonderful rest of the week, and I'll see you soon. Bye.